Christine, RV Mama of 4. So glad you're here today. You are going to tell us your story and tell us how you started, where you're at now, who you're serving.
I'm so excited to be here with you. I have my camping sweatshirt on, and this is what I look like when I'm camping. So I thought you might want to get a real perspective. My story started 8 years ago when my sister, I'm one of 4 kids, and I have 4 kids, and we grew up tent camping. I always got the wet part of the tent, and we did that at least once a month growing up for my entire childhood. We camped all up and down the East Coast. So 8 years ago, my sister called and she said, guess what? I'm getting an RV. I personally had never thought of this, and I had a little sibling rivalry going on, and I thought, why are you getting an RV? She said, so I can go to all my kids' events, their competitions, and we can just hang out in the RV while in between the competitions. And so I thought, that's a great idea. I need that too. So I said, well, how much are you paying? And she said, it is only about $150 a month. And I thought to myself, that is dinner out in Texas, y'all, for a family of 6. I'm like, I could give up one dinner and have me an RV. So I talked to my husband, and that's how I pitched it to him. I was like, if we give up one dinner a month, we can have an RV like my sister. And so my husband did not grow up camping. He grew up in hotels if they went out somewhere. And so, but he's very accommodating to what the kids and I want. So he said, if you want this, you need to go out, negotiate it yourself, find the RV, and just go do whatever you're going to do. So the very next day I went out and I went RV shopping, which I had never done before. I didn't even know what I was looking for other than 4 beds for my children and a bed for me and my husband. And so after 2 days, we found an RV, and we later named it Breakdown Betsy. That's a whole other story in and of itself. But Breakdown Betsy served us well. The kids named it for 4, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years we had that RV. And we had to wait until the following weekend to go up and pick it up. And they give you about 1 hour of time where they will walk you through the RV. They'll teach you everything you need to know to take the RV off of their parking lot. Okay, well, we had never done anything RVing. We were tenters. So I'm trying to write it down and, take videos and remember everything they said. And so they're like, okay, have fun. And so we got the stuff they told us to buy in the store, and we go to leave the store. And I didn't even make it to the first stoplight, Daylin. And I was screaming. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it. So I pull over and I let my husband drive. So for the next year, I thought, it doesn't brake the way it should brake. Like, it's just scary. I cannot do this. So I said, honey, how about if you just drive us up? And, I thought he would stay at the campground. So we went camping about once a month year round because we were in Texas. We loved to go to the same place in Lake Conroe. And my husband would drive the RV up there. He would hook up the SUV we had at the time, unhook it up, help me set up the sewer, the water, the electric, and leave. He didn't even stay. Every weekend, every trip, he would be like, oh, I have to work. Oh, no, I can't be tired on Monday. He never stayed. So the kids and I got to know everybody at this campground. The workers knew us. They'd check on me. They'd help me pack up to leave. We got lots of perks because they would always say, are you still here alone? Yeah, I'm still here alone. But my husband came. Did you see him? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, yeah, he left. But that's really what the RV Mama of 4 was born out of. After about a year of this, I felt really guilty for my husband because I thought he is giving up of his time every weekend. He does not want to do this. He's always working. I have got to learn how to do this on my own. So for Mother's Day, this was the best Mother's Day gift ever. He gave me laminated checklists of how to hook up the SUV and how to unhook up the SUV, and then how to set up the camp. And I kept those for about 4 years until the rain kind of melted them through, even in the laminating. And I used them, and they were like gold to me. It was the best gift ever. So we moved to Colorado around the same time. And I remember laying in bed with the migraine. I get migraines a lot. And I was just laying in bed watching this show. It's kind of like the house show where they pick their top 3 houses and then they have to choose one. Well, this was an RV show, and they picked their top 3 RVs and then they had to pick one. And I saw this RV and I thought, I need it. I have to have it. I have to have this RV. So I'm laying in bed. I call my husband at a work convention in Florida. I'm like, honey, I found the perfect RV. I need this RV. And he said, you don't even drive the RV. I said, I know, but I really want to go out of state. I'm going to do this on my own with your checklists. I'm kind of tired of going to the same campground all the time. And I said, if I get this new RV, I'm going to do it all on my own. So he said, okay, if you can get it for close to the same price, you go find it, negotiate it, handle it all yourself, you can do it. So I looked it up. There was one in Colorado, one that was this exact model. So I left as soon as the kids were in school, I took my little one, we raced up there and I said, this is going to be a quick and easy deal for you. I want this RV right here. And so I ended up negotiating the deal. Then I went home and I put $500 down. And then I went home that night and I couldn't sleep because I thought, where's my mom going to sleep? It was a traditional kitchen where it was very like small and tight, and then it had lazy boy chairs. So neither one of those really turned into a place for my mom to be able to sleep. So I couldn't sleep. My mom always shows up on the scene. If she hears camping, she'll like be at my door the next day. So I thought, I can't get this RV. So the next morning I Googled again, and oddly enough, I found one more. I don't know if it came overnight or if I'd missed it, but I found one more RV that was the same model, but with a U-shaped dinette that folded into this huge bed. And then it was a pull-out couch instead of lazy boy chairs. And so I drove up there again, and I told him, I said, look, this is going to be the easiest sale ever. I said, my husband told me I can't spend a penny more than on the sale of the trailer I bought yesterday, and you got to get my $500 back. And the guy just looked at me and he goes, we're not the same dealership. I'm like, I don't know, that's your problem. And so he laughed and he came back and he credited me the 500. I don't know if they took it from the other location, if he just gave it to me as a credit, I don't know. But they also had this trailer listed for 5,000 more and they gave it to me for the same price. So I came home with my brand new trailer, and then I thought, okay, I got to do it. I got to figure it out. So that summer Amanda had won multiple dance competitions. And so I drove to Utah, to Vegas, to California, and we did her dance scholarships. And then every week in between, she didn't have a scholarship, we would just travel that area. Well, we didn't make it very far. We made it to Utah, and Utah's mountains, if anyone has never been there, just go straight up. I don't know who designed their roads, but they just go straight up. And so my truck that had worked great in Houston and worked fine in Colorado did not work in the heat of Utah. And so I'm driving the kids alone, and it said, power failure, power failure. And it was a new truck. So I just start screaming, kids, we're going to die. We're going to meet Jesus. My husband always says, if you could ever stay calm, we would have calmer kids, but I'm still working on that. So I did not know what to do. And so we pull off the nearest exit, and we had so many people help us that trip. We had people that let us follow them going like 50 miles an hour. It got stuck again the next morning. We tried to leave earlier, but it's just hot in Utah, and it still was like 103 degrees going up the mountains. It's going power failure. So we pull off this camel safari, and my daughter starts calling the camel safari, and they answered, and they said, ma'am, we don't open until October. This was the summer. And my daughter starts crying, and she goes, but we're stuck. And my mom doesn't know she doesn't know what to do. Can you come get us? And the guy said, okay, we're going to turn your day around. So this guy in a Jeep came and found us in the middle of nowhere. It was now like 110 degrees. We're on the side of the road. He picked us all up, took us back to the camel safari, gave us food and water, and told us, okay, go figure out what you're going to do. And they ended up inviting us back to their house to spend the night and hook up the RV at their house. And they found us somebody that was going to help tow us further, because I said, we have to get to Las Vegas. My daughter's in a dance competition. We have to get there. So we just had story after story after story. I think I could go on for an hour about it, but we made it. And the resilience that we had that trip, I ended up having to buy a new truck in Las Vegas. We made it to Vegas for her dance competition, but my truck could not. I told my husband, I said, honey, I know it wasn't in the camping budget, but I need another new truck. He said, you already have a new truck. I said, I know, it's not working. I said, it worked great in Houston because Houston is flat, but it's not working. And so I learned so much just by having to do it, by being independent. I went and negotiated a brand new truck. My daughter was always wearing a sports bra and booty shorts. I'm like, can you please, I know we're coming from a dance competition, but I'm trying to buy a car here. Can you please remember some clothes? So we were probably the sight to see trying to negotiate this truck. But we got it, and we headed on to California because she had more scholarships, and it was so much easier to navigate. When I got my 2,500 diesel truck, oh man, I was like living the life. So that was how that's how it all started. I had to have everything go wrong to learn how to do it right. And it just was a mindset of, I am not going to give up. We are going to get to every dance competition we have. They ended up paying for me when I was stranded for 2 weeks in Las Vegas. They paid for me to stay there as part of the truck deal. I said, well, I can't go forward or backward. And they said, all right, how much is the campground? I said, $320 a week. And they said, that's it. They're like, okay, we'll throw that in the deal. So yeah, it was such a learning experience. And it just really created the life that I wanted to for my kids. But I had to be willing to accept that things are going to go wrong. They are never going to go perfect. But if you're willing to pivot and twist and turn and take the craziness as it comes, you can do it. You can do it. And most times things don't go wrong. Since I've had my new truck, it's been so much smoother. And I didn't mean to say most times things don't go wrong, that many things.
Yeah.
Need to clarify that.
So I would love to hear, how did you find Flip Lifestyle? How did you learn about Income Surge? Could you talk a little bit about that? And then we'll go on to your business.
Yes, this was such a fun story. So you know that God has his hands all over something sometimes. And this is one of those situations. So I started filming videos of the kids and I pre-COVID. And I just found out about Flip Lifestyle in October of this year. I don't have any idea why I was filming stuff. I have no idea. I'm like, why was I doing this? When I look back, I don't know. It was just a God thing. I just opened up my computer the other day and the first video on there was me at Yogi Bear's in Larkspur, Colorado. And I'm whispering and I said, they just knocked on my door and said there was a bear sighting in the campsite next to us and they want me to go inside, but I can't because it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So I got to get all our bikes in. And I've said, everybody else left the campground, but I'm not going to give up my $69 I paid. We're going to fight the camp storm we're going to fight the snowstorm and we're going to hope the bear doesn't come on my site. I don't know why I filmed that. This was like before I ever even knew I was going to do a business. But finally, I would say it was August or September of this year. And I was talking to my dad and I said, Dad, I think I want to start my own business. Just teaching other women how to RV. I said, this is all I think about. I'm so passionate. This is what I want to do. And I said, doesn't your missionary friend, because my dad and this missionary friend and my son have gone on a mission trip to Mexico. This will be their 6th year. I said, didn't he just start a business to help promote the missions field that he's working in? And my dad said, oh, yeah. He uses this famous guy for coaching. He said, let me go get his name. So he comes back and it's somebody, very famous in our field as well. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do what this guy does. So I started listening to him and I made it through like 20 minutes, but you know me, I'm always on the go. And I'm thinking, okay. And when I looked down at my screen, it said, if you like this, you'll like this. And there was a picture of Shane Sams.
Wow.
And that was it. That was it for me. I was like, oh, he looks kind of nice. I thought he looks, kind of like somebody that might like camping and that kind of thing. So I started listening to him. I loved his accent. His Kentucky accent just drew me in. And I thought, oh my goodness, I loved how knowledgeable he was, how confident he was, but he always came across as a people person and somebody that was a coach that loved his people, not somebody that was arrogant or that knew everything. And from the second I saw him, I have never listened to that other guy that was referred to me. That was the person that I was going to, join their group. And there's nothing against them, but God will lead you to the people that you're supposed to be with. And I've never looked back. And so from that day, I bought the Flip Lifestyle experience and I got the one that you just get online and it's by the month. And I thought, I'm just going to devour every inch of this content. So I started doing some Uber driving just to get some extra money in for dance competitions and stuff. And I thought, oh, what a perfect time to listen to this Flip Lifestyle experience. So I definitely binged it, which they don't recommend, but I did that before they told me not to. And I just listened to hours and hours and hours and hours. I made it all the way through every lesson and bonus piece of that Flip Lifestyle experience. And I heard Shane kept mentioning Income Surge and I didn't know what it was. So I thought, what is this Income Surge? He just kind of throw it out there every once in a while. So I emailed Lydia Lane, who is one of our customer support reps. And I said, what is Income Surge? And she wrote me back and she said, oh, there's one coming to Denver this weekend. And I thought, I'm in. So I invited a friend who came and I invited my son because he wanted to start an online business. And so we went to, that might have not, was that Income Surge? Is that the one where they do the music and all that? I might be calling it the wrong thing, but where they have the 3 people.
Life Surge is the big event, like the big
yes.
event. Income Surge is individual events.
Yes. So it was Life Surge that we went to first. That was the order. And so we went to Life Surge. I brought my friend, I brought my son, and I knew I was just waiting for Shane. I didn't even care who else talked. I loved the worship music. It was amazing. The other speakers were great. And I thought maybe someday, but today I'm here for Shane Sams. Like someday when I have money, I'll do that, but I'm here for Shane. And so when he got up, I was standing up, clapping, I was so excited to be there. And I had to be the first one to run down all 23 flight. I was in the very back because we had just booked. I ran down all those stairs, trying not to trip, to be the first in line to get my bag and sign up. And I turn around because I'd forgotten about my son. I'm like, oh, where did he go? I forgot all about him. I turn around and there's my son with Shane Sams right in front of my face. And I was like, it's Shane. And he goes, I heard you were a super fan. And I said, yes, I am a super fan. I'm here just for you. And he goes, your son told me he was waiting at the bottom of the steps at the stage. He wanted me to sign your notes. And, he said, but I thought better than an autograph, I'd come shake your hand. I almost died. I will never forget that moment that he would walk all the way, because the stage was nowhere near where you sign up. And that he would come and care for somebody that hadn't even signed up yet. I mean, I did have my yellow paper in my hand, but he didn't know that. And so it was super special. It was such a special moment. And the treatment that he gave me just continued at Income Surge, now that I have my names right. So we went to Income Surge, and he spent more time with me in the hallway, he and our head coach, answering questions, trying to find a way for me to make the money work, trying to figure out which package I should get, talking about my program. It was unbelievable because there were so many other people there, and he just took the time to do that. And so we made it happen, and I started, and then I found out he was coming again. So I called Income Surge hotline on the back of my yellow piece of paper and said, can I come again?
Yes.
And they said, yeah, you can come again. We'll sign you up. So I went again, and I had to drive through 10 inches of snow that second day. It was an hour drive. And my mom said, don't do it. And my sister said, you're crazy. And I said, look, every time he talks, whether it's to me or anyone else, the knowledge that he gives off, I will drive through 10 inches of snow to be there. I'm fine. I have a truck. So we made it. We were a little late, but maybe 20 minutes, but we made it. And he has been a blessing ever since. And so has the community. And I feel like everywhere I go, I just want to promote. I feel like I work for Flip Lifestyle sometimes, because the energy and the knowledge and the community and the commitment and the passion, like I could go on and on. There's no second that I ever look back and think I should have found that other program. I knew from the time I saw Shane, and I knew from the time I started going to community calls and investing, how much they poured back into me. And at the second Income Surge, Shane gave up his entire lunch and sat next to me. Maybe I shouldn't share that, but because everybody else might want his lunchtime. But it was the most special, meaningful thing to me that he would be willing to do that, for just one person that hadn't made it big yet, and he invested in all of us at all levels.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. I knew most of the pieces of that story, but there were a few pieces I didn't know. So that just makes my heart explode. I love the fact that your son was looking out for his mama. I just love that part of the story, that, he went and found Shane and said, hey, you need to meet my mom.
Yeah. And he didn't make me sit down as I was standing cheering when Shane came on. He just looked at me and he thought, yep, she's in her zone. Where she should be.
That's right. So, and being a super fan is a cool thing, right? Yeah. So I would love to right now go ahead and just let you continue your description of your journey. Where are you at now? How are you growing your business? Tell us how we can find you, all the things.
Sure. So if you can remember RV Mama of 4, you'll be able to find me. So my website is www.rvmamaof4, and it's the number 4.com. My Facebook group is the same. It's www.facebook.com/groups RV Mama of 4. And if you forget all of that, just email me at rvmamaof4@gmail.com. So that's what I said. If you remember RV Mama of 4, you'll find me. And the way I'm serving people now is through the tried and true Flip Lifestyle method. I am doing courses, community, and coaching. And I'm so excited about all that I have to offer through all of the coaching that you guys have poured into me. So I have in my coursework, it's curated content from start to finish. I actually have over 100 different lessons. They're not all built out yet, but as people join, I will know where they want me to start first in adding more information. It takes time, but we have a number of lessons that are already filled in, like from the beginning. How do you hook up your truck? How do you decide if you're going to rent or you're going to buy? How do you know what kind of trailer best fits your family's needs? What do you do when you get to the campsite? What do you do with the sewer? But it's all in order and it's searchable. So wherever you are at in your journey, it goes all the way down to how do you winterize your RV? What are other options? I mean, there's so much in there. Recipes for how do you cook over the campfire. And so that a lot of that is to come and it's outlined out. And if you become a member, you can help decide what focus to put in there first, because it takes a lot of time because I have so much outlined for what this course is going to be. But if you join now, there's also a lot already in there. And I have videos so you can see. So you can see exactly how I back up the truck onto the tow hitch. And my 10-year-old is the one that is doing it. I'm doing the driving, but y'all, my 10-year-old, the only thing he is not old enough to do is drive the truck. He knows how to do everything from start to finish. He does the sewer, he does the water, he hooks up the truck. So a lot of it, he's either videoing or he's the one doing it. So if he can do it, I know that my RV mamas out there can do it. It just takes the mindset that you're going to do it. And that's it. And so that is a lot of the coursework. There's also checklists. Like I mentioned, for Mother's Day, the checklist that my husband gave me, after 4 years, it kind of deteriorated, but I have another checklist that's the same thing with a picture of what does the tow ball look like? You know, so for all these different terms that you may not know, the tow arms, what comes first, and it's just step by step. So you'll find that as well. And then as far as calls, we have weekly member calls where you get to hang out with me and the other people in the community. We're going to have special guests. I have friends that have fifth wheels. I have friends that have motorhomes. I have friends that full-time RV. And so they are going to bring their own perspective of just topics and tips, just like we do in Flip Lifestyle. Even though you may know a lot of things about it, having those special guests in there that have lived it and done it from their perspective is going to add a lot. So you'll be able to have access to weekly calls and special guests. We also have a private forum where you can come in at any time of the day and you can ask questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? Or you can share stories. You know, guess what my kids just did? Guess what they just learned? Guess what we just saw? This was what they thought of the Grand Canyon when I took them. You can also ask questions of, you know, how do I plan my trip? Or where should we go? Has anybody been here? What's this campground like? So the private forums are a place that everybody can share. I haven't been everywhere and I don't know everything. And so it's great to be able to have other people that can just chime in and share their experiences, their journey, and their knowledge. I also offer some additional services that are kind of unique. I am doing one-on-one driving lessons if you're not too far away from me. So I have a client that's coming up in a week or so, and I'm going to take her to an empty parking lot. We're going to set up cones. She already has a truck and a trailer, and her husband always drives it. And so she said, I really want to learn how to do it. So that is exactly the person that I'm so excited about, because her kids are close to graduating. And I said, I cannot wait to hear the next week after you take this, that you go take those kids out there and you go make memories in this big, beautiful country that we have. And then you're not on anyone else's schedule. That's one of the biggest things that I love, is that I can RV anytime I want, anywhere we want. And I don't have to rely on anyone else's schedule, just my own and the kids. And we homeschool. So that's a whole other thing that really benefits us. But even if you don't, you now have your weekends. If, you know, if your husband works, or if your husband doesn't like camping, or if you're single, you know, all of these different things, it can benefit all those different types of people. I'm also going to offer shopping services. If you're really nervous about going in and looking for an RV, because it's overwhelming, there's hundreds of RVs at every dealer, and it's still a car salesman dominated world where you have to be confident when you go in and strong and really just say what you're looking for. And so I would be happy to help with that. I've done it twice now for 2 trucks and twice for 2 RVs. So I'm pretty confident knowing what you might need to think about of what you want for your family with as far as layout and size and your tow capabilities for your vehicle. The other thing that I'm going to offer is one-on-one in-person coaching. So if you're nervous, say that you got your trailer, you have your RV, or you've had a family one, but you need to go without your husband, or you're just going to go venture out and you just bought it. If you're close, I'll go to your campsite and help you. How do you hook up your truck from your house or your SUV or whatever you're trying with? How do you unhook it? How do you set it up? So I'll do one-on-one coaching as well. And I'm hoping to really spread that out farther, but right now it's Colorado. But I could also do Zoom or other options if people are in other states and are interested in that. And I do travel. I got my whole summer scheduled out. I'm going all over. So those are the main those will be additional to my membership. And the last thing I offer with that is towing services, outdoorsy, and some other companies will allow you to rent and then tow the RV to where you want to go. But some people don't have the truck or ability to do that. So if you're in Colorado, that's something else that I can do. But everything else I included is in the membership, the course, the coaching, the community, and then just the extras are if I have to come to you in person. So lots of things going on. Oh, and one last thing, Daylin, you're going to like this.
Okay.
So I actually have a meeting in a week with another girl camper that likes to do what I do. And she has a group, but she's farther east. So we're not really near each other. And we have a meeting scheduled to do a group camp out together with her group and my group. And we're going to meet up somewhere in between the two states and have a camping event where we can have classes. She used to drive semi trucks. And so she knows a lot about boondocking and all kinds of things. And so we're going to have planned activities and classes, and or you can just come and hang out, you know, and just camp. So there's a lot in the works. And I'd love for people to check out the website at www.rvmama4.com.
I'm blown away. I am blown away. Oh my gosh. I mean, to know you, Christine, is to know how you pour into people and serve people. You are just so heart-centered. But some of this I've learned that I didn't know you were doing some of this. So this is beautiful. When is your camping trip with her?
Well, I'm meeting with her as soon as I'm at a film festival right now for my son. His documentary is up for 2 awards. So as soon as I get back next, I think it's around March 20th, we're meeting to plan that for this summer. So I'm excited because we can really put together both of our resources and our backgrounds and our knowledge and just make a really fun event for whoever wants to come. So we'll just post where we're at and people can book their campsite and, you know, they'll sign up through us so we know who's coming and then they can come join us.
Amazing. Amazing. I have one last question.
Okay.
Based on your conversation and the fact that I know you and the way you pour into people, what advice, and you've said some of this throughout actually, but I want to just bring people back around. What would you say to the person who finds this video on YouTube and is thinking about starting a business? What would you say to that person?
I think that starting a business is an amazing opportunity to be able to bless others and really also bless your family, because you're not going to choose a business if it's not something you're passionate about. I'll never forget one of the things that Shane said to me in the back of the room at Income Surge. I said, what if it doesn't work? And he said to me, looked me in the eyes, and he said, failure is not an option. You just pivot. And I know I will never forget it, because when I get around other people that are struggling and thought, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this business. I've tried and it hasn't taken hold. And I just tell them, you know what? Failure is not an option. Keep pivoting, change what you're doing, add some more things, change your price, keep throwing it out there, keep going to coaching, because the coaching is phenomenal. And the community is there to help keep you going, to encourage you. Don't isolate yourself. Don't try to do it alone. Don't try to be cheap and not get the coaching, because if you do, it's going to take you a lot longer. And the chances are that you're going to end up letting your mindset take hold. And the other thing that we really talked about in a mindset call with you today that really stuck out that you said was just keep taking action. Don't think about it. Don't think about the mindset. Don't think about, is it going to work? Don't think about what if it fails, because if you just keep putting one step forward and keep doing it, it will eventually work. Or you will have coaches on the side saying, okay, that's not working. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try that. And you just keep going no matter how long it takes. So I would highly encourage other people to get out there, to start your own online business. I love Flip Lifestyle. I can't say enough good things about it, because their entire leadership just encapsulates everything that Shane envisioned for this company. They just do. The people that he chose are everything that he presented at those initial meetings of what he wants for the company. And so he's chosen well, and they pour out daily, every day. It has to be exhausting, but they pour out and they pour out just like he does. And so I'm honored to be a part of this community, and I would love to help out in any way I can. And it's the same motto for RVing I think I could write a book on that first summer that I decided to take the kids by myself. But if I had quit, or if I just said, well, my truck doesn't work, we never would be here. I mean, I took my kids on over 40 camping trips last summer, and I take them every summer, all summer for, I don't know, maybe 4 years. And the last 2 winters, we've RV'd and done a stay and play up in Breckenridge, Colorado, where we keep the trailer up there from November to April. And we go skiing every weekend, and we go up and we stay in the RV, and we're 20 minutes from the ski resort, and it costs me $350 a month because we stay outside of Breckenridge, and that's it. And the memories that we made from being able to do that, I never could have done if I quit. I never could have done if I thought this is too hard, or if I didn't want to get dirty, or if I couldn't do it. But I'm telling you, like, if my 10-year-old can do it, I know that anyone out there that has the heart and the desire and the passion to do it can do it. Same with online business, right? It's the same thing, Daylin.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has blessed me. And I know that when this makes it out to our community and they get to see it, they're going to be blessed too. So thank
you. You're a blessing to me every day. And I love your hair, and you know it. Thank you, Daylin. I appreciate you.
This was amazing. Just all about not giving up. If you had given up that first summer, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. Oh my gosh.
I know.
All the experiences
it's so
that
true.
your kiddos have gotten to walk through. And, something just very personal to me, I was thinking about how much they are going to cherish all the videos of you someday, right? 50 years from now, those videos will be their most prized possession. I promise you that. So yeah. I love that you are just capturing all the memories.
And it's so fun because the kids don't tell you that now, they take it for granted. But my daughter last year, or whatever year we were in COVID, she ended up winning so many competitions in her solo that she had actually choreographed herself. It was the first time she ever choreographed her own solo. And she just kept winning and winning and winning. And we were in COVID, so she couldn't go on stage to celebrate. It was terrible. We'd have to watch the awards, scrolling names. And I went in to her coach one lesson, and she said, do you know that Amanda based her entire solo choreography on you taking her RVing and all of her memories? And I didn't even know what to say. I had no idea that my baby is going to be the last one to tell me that. And so I said, no, I didn't even know she appreciated it. And she said, you have no idea. She said, she comes in here and that's what she talks about. And so it was just like you're saying, kids are kids. They're not going to be like, oh, Mom, we appreciate you so much for giving up your time. And, they're going to be like, Mom, your hair is a mess. Please, what are you doing? So, but exactly what you said is, I'm hoping that, that they do cherish the memories, because I know I do. I every chance I get, I take them RVing and camping, and we've been every state, west, north, and south of Colorado, except for Oregon and Washington. So we're coming for you. And then we've started heading east last summer. So I want to make it to all 50 states before my 10-year-old graduates camping. That's my goal.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And again, tell us one more time where we can find you.
www.rvmaof4.com.
Here we go. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Christine. Thank you. Thank you.